under the control of the Lord Protector, so he can monitor everyone and everything in Buckingham Palace. Prologue. The Griffin is the king of the beasts. It is half eagle, the king of the birds, and half lion, the king of the animals. The head and wings are those of an eagle, while the body and back legs are those of a lion. For centuries, the beast has been thought of as the stuff of legend. Early civilizations worshipped the griffin. It can be found in stories from both ancient Egypt and ancient Greece. In medieval times, this half-eagle, half-lion became a symbol of godlike power. The power over life and death. The power to create or destroy the universe. Infinite power for all eternity. The sight of a griffin would inspire terror in the hearts of all men. That is why the beasts were used as a symbol through the centuries by kings and queens. Griffins can be seen on coats of arms, flags, and shields. The message was simple: kneel, or you will suffer a terrible fate at the claws of this beast. It looks a little like a dinosaur, that terrifying creature that stalked the earth millions of years ago. However, unlike a dinosaur, no one has ever found the skeleton of one. But that doesn't mean that a griffin never lived, or one day might not live again. Part 1. The Coming of the Beast. Chapter 1. Dark. It was noon and the sky was black. There had been darkness over the kingdom for half a century. For many years before, the people of the earth had not taken care of their home. They had burned down all the forests, reducing every last tree to ash. They had pumped the rivers, lakes, and seas full of waste, killing the fish. They had dug deeper and deeper under the ground for oil, until the planet was hollow to its core. Eventually, the Earth took its revenge. The ice caps of the Arctic and the Antarctic melted. The floods were so mighty that whole countries became submerged underwater. Violent earthquakes shook entire cities to the ground. All that was left behind were piles and piles of rubble. Volcanoes erupted, pumping billions of tons of ash into the air. Without the sun, the crops withered and died. Nothing could grow. The kingdom was plunged into an eternal winter. It was the only world Alfred knew. He was already 12 years old, but had never ever seen sunlight. Often, he dreamed how it must have been to feel the sun on your face, or run through a field of tall grass, or swim in a sunlit sea. But it was just that, a dream. The boy had seen pictures of the sun in books and marveled at it, a perfect circle of gold. Now the moon and stars had become invisible too. Alfred would spend hours and hours imagining how the night sky must have looked, with 1,000 little lights twinkling through the blackness. He was one of those children who liked nothing more than being alone with his imagination. In truth, he had little choice, having been sickly his whole life. Soon after he was born, he became ill. As a baby, Alfred had not been expected to survive, but survive he did. Just. The child was as pale as snow and as thin as dust. He wore thick glasses to aid his poor eyesight. Often Alfred was so weak he had to stay in bed all day.